Airchexx.com.
Welcome to the new Steve and Steve podcast. You can get us online at hitoldies.com, hitoldies.net. And today, Steve and I have a very special guest, Scottie Miller. And Scottie, you're a musician, and I've heard some of your music. It's wonderful. What genre would you describe yourself as? More blues or blues jazz, or maybe a combination of that as something else?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, Steve and Steve. It's an honor to be with you guys. Thank you. Yeah, style-wise, I am really all over the map. You know, this is my 13th album coming out with Hello Pain. My previous releases and a lot of my past years in music have been mostly steeped around blues, Americana, jazz. While this particular album is, as you might know, featuring full orchestra and really kind of falling into the realms of like singer-songwriter non-classical with orchestra, also sort of into the indie folk and Americana genre realms, but it is always difficult to find that specific genre for your music as it's an original project. But those are the three main things. You know, it's kind of like singer-songwriter, non-classical, but featuring full orchestration. And again, with the indie folk, maybe indie pop on the edge.
We should mention, Scottie, some of your accolades, because we really kind of just jumped right into this stuff. But Scottie, you started playing at 6 years old, playing piano.
Yeah.
And of course, you won the 2024 Blues Music Award with What Kind of Fool, co-written with Ruthie Foster. 3 times Minnesota Blues Hall of Fame inductee. 2023 Artist of the Year with the Bluebird Review for your Carnival Cocoon album, book, and poetry collection. So you've traveled all over the world. I know you just got off of a blues cruise. And so kind of excited about your new project here with Hello Pain.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Yeah, touring with Ruthie Foster now just over 18 years. Ruthie Foster, based out of Austin, Texas, of course, and thrilled that she won Grammy for Contemporary Blues Album of the Year last year. And I got to visit the Grammys with her the year before in 24 for her album Healing Time, which I co-wrote with her and others. And so that was quite an honor. And so, yeah, I'm a busy man, splitting my time between touring with Ruthie Foster and then my own solo project with Scottie Miller Band in its different configurations. Yeah.
First time I saw you, Scottie, at the A440 Studios, where you paid a fee and they fed you some kind of dinner and you were surprised by the entertainment, and you were the entertainment that night. And I'm like, wow, why haven't I heard of this guy before?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was the first time we met. Yep, at John Heinen's A440 Studios here. And that was such a great series and run where all those concerts were filmed with full stage lighting and, sound and high quality
very cool
camera.
Space. Yeah, very cool space.
Yeah, great time.
So, yeah, that takes us back about 10 years.
It's amazing. 14 albums previously. And I'd be perfectly honest to tell you that until Steve talked with me about you, I'd never heard of you before. And maybe that's because you're from Minnesota and you play local venues around there. I see where you're touring around the country, and I guess you're going Australia. You're doing a world tour kind of this year, right?
Yep. Yeah, most of my international touring is when I'm out playing with Ruthie Foster and her band, although I do some solo international stuff from time to time. But yeah, we're about to head to Australia for a month-long tour with Ruthie Foster. Her and I will start out as a duo in a duo format from West Coast to South in Adelaide over to the East Coast and up and down. And then the rest of the band joins us towards the end of the tour. So yeah, that'll be a really healthy, month-long tour in Australia that we just love dearly. And then, yeah, I play locally at all sorts of different venues, from small venues like Smokies and Washington Square Bar and Grill in White Bear Lake or East Bethel, to the listening room of the 318 in Excelsior, to the Dakota Jazz Club in Minneapolis. Um,
We have a lot of great spaces for that, for sure.
we
So,
do,
Scotty,
yeah.
You
on this
ever
album, I think people
go
would
ahead?
probably want to know a little bit about your inspiration on it, and then maybe you want to touch on a couple of these songs. Maybe you'll give us a little bit of a little of this song, a little of that song on some of the stuff from the album. I know there's 10 on the album.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 10 tracks on the album, and it's been a huge one of my, obviously, I think the largest project I've ever taken on. Um, we myself and my orchestrator, arranger, violinist Sierra Elise Hill, uh, she and I worked hand in hand on this project, and then found our way through the help of friends and a lot of hard work to the Budapest Scoring Orchestra in Hungary. So this album was created with Greg Schutte on drums, Dan Carpel on upright bass, myself on piano and vocal, Tom Brooks on guitar, and then of course Sierra on violin, and all the arranging and orchestrating, which turned into uh, ultimately 52-piece Budapest orchestra.
Wow.
And we recorded them remotely from Wild Sound Studios in Northeast, where we did the album. Sent all the scores and parts and the demos of the trio playing and singing to Budapest. And then we got in basically on a Zoom call, almost a different platform, but like this, and took off took off running. It was amazing right out of the gate. The orchestra there was just dead on, beautiful, passionate playing. And I think that session got done. All 10 songs feature the Budapest Orchestra. And I think they finished in about 4.5 hours. And then they send all the tracks back to us within like an hour. We received all the tracks, married them together, continued to work on vocals and refining and adding different components locally, like orchestral percussion, timpani. I think we added some trumpet and trombone. We had Sierra come back in and play solo violin over and throughout the orchestration. So the album took shape over the course of probably about a year, where we didn't know how we were going to get full orchestration, but I knew I really wanted to. And then a very generous friend came to the fore and said, I'd like to help with the orchestral part um, of the project, and actually helped us cross that huge threshold, because
Wow.
it's a hard thing to budget as an independent musician.
I don't know how
Um,
you do it, honestly. What is it like Patreon? How do you raise the money to do a project like this?
Well, I got lucky with this. I didn't start any formal fundraising, Steve. I put the word out at all my shows, a little bit on social media, that, basically my excitement about what we were trying to do. So I was really just putting out there what we were trying to do. And the friend I mentioned came out of nowhere and messaged me once. I was in the back of the van on a Ruthie Foster tour, and I got a Facebook message from this friend saying, I'd like to help. And I'm like, I sent her everything, all the demos, and I had a pretty good layout plan of what
Right.
this looked like, kind of a business proposal, if you will, should anybody come to the plate. But I didn't do anything formal, so I'm feeling, incredibly blessed. And by the help of friends. And then, of course, a huge part of budgeting these kind of things comes from basically my budget from, whatever I sell and make on my merch at shows goes into the kitty to try to afford another album. And I've gone on that way now for, these 13, 14 different projects.
We should
Uh,
mention you have pre-orders out there too that people can order it. I
yeah.
pre-ordered, so I'm looking forward to my
Yes.
copy.
I saw that, Steve. Thanks a lot. Yeah, we do have a
And on the website,
pre-order.
which I'm showing on the
Yeah.
screen now, this will be in the video. Of course, ScottieMiller.com, your website, you can pre-order, and of course, you've got the entire write-up on the new album. You've got the Hello Pain vinyl LP, and that's really important because I see a lot of, especially the young people, they're rediscovering vinyl that we all grew up with. Some people still buy CDs, I don't know who, and there's a lot of downloads. I don't, I'm sure you probably have a download thing. And then, of course, underneath all that, you've got a list on your website of everywhere you're going to be this year. So I would invite everybody who's watching this video, go to ScottieMiller.com and see what Scottie's about and pre-order his album.
Yeah, thanks for that.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's really the website continues to get overhauls to reflect the new release. The pre-sale is live for I'm really excited. It's the first time I've ever done vinyl, and really excited to have that as available. And listening to the test pressings of that a couple weeks ago, it was just incredible to hear it for the first time, non-digitally on
Isn't it
vinyl.
wonderful?
And
Yeah.
the way it sounded in my ears was just really refreshing. And I think this music is just meant to be listened to on vinyl. It's so warm, and it's got such a real sound to it. The digital is incredible, incredibly clean, but that vinyl does something to just really bring out the warmth and the realism of all this instrumentation. 56 human beings
I can't wait to
pouring
hear
their
it myself.
soul to it.
Really, I'm a fan of music. I've got albums that I'm digitizing myself in here. So
Yeah, right?
I recently obtained a stash, pristine,
Nice.
like brand new.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
your
that's
album will
great.
be added to this collection.
Oh, I can't wait to
Absolutely.
get it to you. Yeah,
Scottie, do
appreciate
you have your guitar? Would you like to perform a little bit?
I don't have anything really handy.
Or you don't have a piano in your studio with you?
Not set up
Okay.
right now. I'm in between tours and leaving again today, and everything's
Oh
sort
wow,
of torn
it's
down,
real
ready
tight
for
with
the
you. I'm
road.
sure. Yeah.
Sorry to tell you that, but nothing live for you today. Um, but I know I sent you guys a few tracks. Maybe you can play just some samples for your folks out there to hear.
Oh, we have
taste of,
okay, which one have I got up here? The wrong one. I can't play while I'm recording. You know what? I can splice it in, and I'll
Yeah.
splice this comment out.
Okay, yeah,
This one way of doing it.
that'll work.
Yep.
I
Well,
wonder
it'll
if I
take
can
me
play
a week or
something
two
here,
to
too.
produce this anyway. I've got to add effects. I got to do an intro for me and Steve and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you are a busy man. So where are you headed out to today?
Park City, Utah today for 3 shows with Ruthie Foster and the band at a place called the Egyptian Theater in Park City. And we're doing 3 nights in a row there, which is kind of rare, but also kind of nice to be in one place. And we just, Monday morning, I just got back from playing with Ruthie and the band on the Joe Bonamassa Keeping the Blues Alive at Sea music cruise.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was a great time.
And you got to play with Joe?
Didn't sit in with Joe. Ruthie has sat in on previous cruises with Joe, but he pretty much sticks to his own shows.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Pretty exclusively. But we were hanging with everybody else and all the other great bands on the ship, and it was really, guys like DK Harrell were sounding so good. So it's mostly blues and blues rock, sort of bands on that cruise, and Ruthie and us and the band really bring that songwriting element and folk and soul, and so we just had a great time. And I got off the ship and went with our guitarist Haddon Sayers. You mentioned that Blues Music Award for that song "What Kind of Fool," which is actually written by Haddon Sayers and then co-written by Ruthie Foster and myself with him. That won a Blues Music Award a couple years ago, and so I took off with Haddon right from the ship to go do a gig in the Villages for the Villages Blues Society in Central Florida, and then took a really early flight home and home for a day and off again to Park City. So things are moving really fast here, and that's a good thing. You know, we hustle and strike while the iron's hot kind of deal. You know, but yeah, I'll get back from Park City, and before I leave for Australia in the middle of April, I have I'm just looking quick at my calendar. I have 2 shows on Wednesday, the 8th of April. During the daytime, I'm down there at Minnesota State University, Mankato, from 11 to 1 in the afternoon with Tom Hunter. We do a dueling piano thing where we trade off songs on 2 different pianos. And then at night on Wednesday the 8th, I play at W.A. Frost and Company in St. Paul, a solo piano vocal show at W.A. Frost.
That sounds like a dinner venue.
It's a super cool restaurant bar, but downstairs they have this just amazing speakeasy restaurant slash bar. There's couches and little coves, and it's adorned with really cool artwork.
Oh,
It
wow.
is a
Yeah.
really unique space. So I'm super excited about that. And that is both those shows are what? Yeah, next Wednesday, the 8th of April. Then I have one little solo show at Smokey's Barbecue in East Bethel on Saturday, the 11th of April from 2 to 4. And then that's it, except for Nashville City Winery with Ruthie on April 16th. And then we head over to Australia. And all these dates, like you said, they're on my calendar on my website at scottiemiller.com. And just got to spell Scotty with I-E on the end, not a Y.
Absolutely.
and you'll get there,
down.
yeah.
Skip one question. Are you coming over to my area of the country? I live in Connecticut. We're up here in the Northeast. There's venues all around New Haven County, Bridgeport, Hartford. There's venues around.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling Steve before the show, you know, I saw Chicago. We saw Styx this summer. They have an amphitheater here, and it's really nice over this way.
Yeah,
We'd love to see. I'd love to see you live.
Yeah, we'd love to. We come out, you know, we travel all over the country, so there's bound to be something that'll be popping up. I don't know about anything on the books just now out in that area specifically, but the calendar is ever changing, and we do play the East Coast a lot.
Yeah, we're a stone's throw away from New York City. It's about an hour and a quarter
are.
from here if there's no traffic. So
Yeah.
you get the New York crowd if you play Bridgeport over to New Haven or even down Stamford in that area when you're close to the New York border.
Yeah, definitely. I know there's a few things out east. I just can't quite think of where and when they are, as the calendar, like I said, is just continuously moving, especially with Ruthie Foster. But you can always find those shows on my website or also at ruthiefoster.com too. And I try to keep up with my Ruthie touring, you know, on my website calendar as best I can to reflect those dates and then differentiate between my own dates. And I'll say, you know, on my calendar with Ruthie Foster or Scottie Miller Band. So that's the best way to keep an eye on that.
That's great. Steve, I've got loaded up. I did find a way to play this. The single Hello Pain, which is obviously the title track from your
And then maybe
album.
after you play this, maybe you can talk a little bit about what brought you to this album, you know, psychologically, whatever. People always like to know the root of how these things got made.
Right,
You
the
bet.
backstory behind the song.
You bet. Yep, happy to
So
talk about
here
that.
is Scottie Miller with Hello Pain.
Hello, pain. It's good to have you here again. I miss the way you made me feel. Every part of my body and soul laid out for all to see, vulnerable and free. All my senses tuned so well, but you're the only drug I need, coursing through my veins. And you fill me up with all I need. You're everything I'll ever need, the only way I wanna feel. I could numb out all the rest. The rest is just a lie. I failed attempt to try to feel the way I used to feel. But the truth is that nothing has felt the same since I walked this earth with you. Hello time, how fast you used to go, but now you seem to move so slow. The second hand is broken, stuck on 1209, the time we always used to talk and relieve our worried minds from the chaos of the world, from the endless winter chill. Where you give me everything I need. You're everything I'll ever need, the only way I wanna feel. I could numb out all the rest. The rest is just a lie. I failed attempt to try to feel the way I used to feel. But the truth is that nothing has felt the same since I walked this earth with you. I'm breathing the air that you're breathing, tasting the fruits that you bore, cleansed by the waters we shared in there. Lying in wait is all that I need. You're everything I'll ever need, the only way I wanna feel. Running, I could numb out all the rest. The rest is just a lie. I feel the attempt to try to feel the way I used to feel. Since I walked this earth with you, you're everything I'll ever need, the only way I wanna feel. I can numb out all the rest, but the rest is just a lie. A failed attempt to try to feel the way I used to feel. But the truth is that nothing has felt the same since I walked this earth with you.
You know, that's a beautiful song. And I can imagine it being played in an intimate setting somewhere, sitting down after dinner and listening to that. It really evokes quite an emotional response.
Oh, good.
And what were you
Steve.
thinking when you wrote that song? What was going through your head?
Hello Pain came about when I was in actual physical pain.
No, we can relate to that.
Yeah, I had moved my upright piano out of the studio to get new carpet put in, and I fractured a vertebrae in my back, and I was nearly debilitated. It was excruciating pain when I actually was humped over the, slunched over, or hunched over the piano, and that was coming out. And the title concept was coming from I have a really dear friend, Bill, who's kind of like one of my spiritual gurus, if you will, And I came to him once with, looking for a little sympathy, like, oh man, I fractured a vertebrae in my back, Bill, I can't walk. And just looking for a little sympathy maybe or whatever. And you know what he said back? He goes, hello, pain. And so it really, that has always stuck with me because he's opening pain as a touchstone to growth, to change, to, the opposition to, if you don't have pain, you can't feel joy, and you can't, so it's welcoming it with open arms, even though it might be difficult. It's like, and we compared it to like the remember the Honeymooners show, Jackie Gleason and Art Carney, and the golfing, the golfing episode when Art would tell Jackie Gleason, when you're golfing, you gotta step up and plant your feet and address the ball. Hello, ball. And
Exactly.
and I just thought it just fit in there perfect. And it, as you can hear by the lyrics, it is obviously also tying into emotional pain from a breakup that I had just gone through of a long-term relationship, unfortunately. And the third component to it is that I've been sober and in recovery myself from drugs and alcohol for over 18 years now. And so it also, that's the third sort of prong to the concept of Hello Pain, is tying in with the physical, emotional, and almost hearkening back to, that first line, hello pain, I miss the way you made me feel. And so those are the three main components. And it was tricky. I didn't know if I wanted to make this the title track because it can be perceived as kind of a dark concept, but it's really not meant to be dark.
No,
It's
it's
meant
about
to be,
as you said, you can't grow emotionally, you can't grow physically in some cases without pain. And I think that message comes across. We have 5 minutes left before this thing kicks us out.
Okay.
Scottie, you mentioned your tours. Let's go over once again your website, ScottieMiller.com, Scottie with IE, not Y,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
On the website, of course, your tour dates, and you can pre-order the new album, Hello Pain. We invite everybody who watches the video here in our new podcast to go check it out, ScottieMiller.com. And please, everybody, support Scottie and buy his new album. It sounds great. Appreciate you coming on with us today.
Scottie a lot of times, awesome. So you got to check out Scottie.
Yep.
Oh, thank you both. Thank both you Steves very much for having me, making me a part of your show. It means a great deal. And the official release of the album will be May 29th of this year. And then we have a big album release scheduled. Tickets will go on sale pretty soon, kind of early, but for Saturday, August 1st at the Parkway Theater in Minneapolis, featuring the full 5-piece band plus a good-sized orchestral section. So I think those probably going to be 15 or 16 of us on stage with full strings and winds. And so there's much to look forward to regarding that as well. And so I can't thank you enough for helping spread the word.
Hello, pain. It's good to have you here again. I miss the way you made me feel. Every part of my body and soul laid out for all to see, vulnerable and free. All my senses tuned so well, but you're the only drug I need, coursing through my veins. And you fill me up with all I need. You're everything I'll ever need, the only way I wanna feel. I could numb out all the rest. The rest is just a lie. A failed attempt to try to feel the way I used to feel. But the truth is that nothing has felt the same since I walked this earth with you. Hello time, how fast it used to go, but now you seem to move so slow. The second hand is broken, stuck on 1209, the time we always used to talk and relieve our worried minds from the chaos of the world, from the endless winter chill. Well, you give me everything I need. You're everything I'll ever need. The only way I wanna feel. I could numb out all the rest. The rest is just a lie. A failed attempt to try to feel the way I used to feel. But the truth is that nothing has felt the same since I walked this earth with you. I'm breathing the air that you're breathing, tasting the fruits that you bore, cleansed by the waters we shared in there. Lying in wait is all that I need. You're everything I'll ever need. The only way I wanna feel. I could numb out all the rest. The rest is just a lie. I feel the attempt to try to feel the way I used to feel. Since I walked this earth with you, you're everything I'll ever need. The only way I wanna feel. I can numb out all the rest, but the rest is just a lie. A failed attempt to try to feel the way I used to feel. But the truth is that nothing has felt the same since I walked this earth with you.